And welcome to Nuuli Forged. We are a 5e actual play stream. We play in the custom world of Nuuli, which came out of my brain, and 5 of my friends are brave enough to play in because they're crazy. I've got it. Thank you for the resub. 35 months, almost 3 years. Wow. Thank you.
It's insane.
Thank you so much, I've got it. You're an amazing mod. Great everything.
Can we get Pikachus?
Well, we got the resub, and I think that's pretty damn good. So I think that's good. And NYC Zombie resubscribing. 18 months. Thank you, NYC.
Woohoo!
Also fun. There's the Pikachus. Now we got some Pikachus. Thank you.
Yay, Pikachus!
I've got it for the Pikachus. Welcome in all. We've been off for 2 weeks because real life, is a thing that happens sometimes. We are down a mat this evening. Tanner's running a little bit late, which is totally okay. And hopefully he pops in soon. But yeah, in the meantime, we're going to go around and say some hellos and introduce ourselves and our characters here. We're going to start at the top of the rung of the ladder with Mike.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike. I play Defect, the Arcanaton Barbarian. Thanks for being here.
Wonderful.
Feels weird without having a question to answer or prompt.
Oh, that reminds me. I would also like you to remind all of us, players, watchers, whoever, each of you at the end of last session had a little trauma result in your character, had a little trauma bargain. So I would love you all to please reshare your trauma bond.
Okay. Yes.
I started on my notes.
Paraphrasing what you have told me from 3 weeks ago.
You didn't write it down? Like, this is a big thing. Like, take a note.
I wrote it down.
I'm sorry.
Just saying.
No, like it's in here. It's there. It's in my head.
I know your head. I don't know if I trust it.
My trauma is the fear of failure / seeing my comrades fall down in battle. And because of that, I will suffer. What did I suffer? I'm going to suffer.
This is why you write shit down.
Yeah, I thought I did. You know what? Maybe I did. Hold on, let me double check.
Yeah, check your notes section of your character sheet or wherever you're keeping your notes. He's like, I play a barbarian. I don't need to take notes.
Wait, you can take notes in the notes section of your thing?
Yeah, yeah. You just click it, and a little box pops up on the right side there.
They thought of that for you. I am very, very confused. Did I miss one?
No.
Yes.
Oh, maybe.
Yes.
Greg wasn't here.
That is true. Greg was not.
I was like, I write everything down. I have nothing written
No,
down.
you were here because it was the same time when you went up. It was the rescue from Kraghold.
The end of the rescue.
Oh.
Okay. Here it is. I do have it.
Okay.
I have to. I must make a wisdom saving throw for any time an ally goes down.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yep.
Whew. I knew I wrote it somewhere. Okay.
Good boy.
It
only gets worse if you don't write it down.
I know, right?
Punishment. Wonderful. For the chat, how are levels or sound levels? Okay, there was a computer update, so I want to make sure all the levels are still good. Moving on down, we've got Amber.
Hi. I'm Amber. I play Greg, the Goblin Artificer. I just realized that I did actually know what Jared was talking about, and I My charisma checks and saves will be at disadvantage moving forward. Because I'm no longer confident in the world. That's
Yeah.
how I wrote it anyway.
Yep, that's pretty much it. All your charisma stuff is at disadvantage for the time being.
Cool.
But not saving throws, just checks.
Oh, just checks, not saves.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
And moving on down, we've got Sarah.
Hey, that's me. My name is Sarah, and I play Olive, who is a half-orc moon druid at level 14. And Olive has developed some claustrophobia as a result of her time spent chained to the wall of no magic, and is now has a -2 to wisdom saves when I'm enclosed in a building.
It's true.
I don't like being inside, guys. Cities suck.
Yeah.
Olive is currently sleeping on the lawn at Misfit Manor.
Well, not quite yet. But perhaps soon you will be. And my name is Jared. I am the humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged, and I play everyone and everything else that is not the 5-player characters. And I didn't give myself any negatives because my big disadvantage is I'm playing these 5 crazy people, or running the characters that are antithetical.
Yeah, hey now.
To these 5.
It's fine. We treat you right.
You absolutely do. Wonderful. Just doing a little check-in there. Great. Well, that all being said, let's dive right into last time on Nuuli Forged, shall we?
Sure.
Last time on Nuuli Forged, the entirety of Grig and the Misfits awoke from unconsciousness, imprisoned deep within Kraghold. Grig was bound in a spiked crow's cage, hanging above a pair of guards. Defect was manacled and locked in stocks that were chained to opposing walls in a room. Olive was bolted to a wall via a collar and manacles that somehow prevented her from using magic, later revealed to be a non-magical circle, like a no magic here circle. Nereus was hoisted up in the air, arms and legs spread with his mouth gagged, and Spoot was bound in a cell with another unconscious form. Unsure of how much time had passed, Grig did overhear the guards talking, realizing that the Misfits had actually attacked 2 days earlier than they had planned to. And the height of the ritual was actually the following evening, at midnight. So this group of Shade Reachers, one of these guards was also a member of a group of Shade Reachers that were being assigned and tasked to head to Laurentin to dispatch Nereus's family after the ritual was completed. Hours passed with each member trying valiantly to escape, but to no avail, until suddenly Nereus awoke to a potion being poured down his throat. An invisible Trip Sharp runner had freed him from his bonds. Together they retrieved a still unconscious Spoot from his cell, discovering that the other form in said cell was the dead body of Agarian Granix, their paladin friend who follows the same god as Spoot, that of the Horizon Walker. Meanwhile, Defect was freed by another, the mysterious Umbradius, the Arcanaton from places unknown, but has a tie of some kind to Defect's past. Together, they released Olive, and the group united to free Grig. Using a distraction caused by Trip, the group was able to make their way to a hidden exit tunnel, which had been dug by Kruthy, Trip's Kruthric mount, and guarded in turn by Archmedalius, another Arcanaton that Defect and Grig had met previously, as well as Adis and Kalen Vagar, who had apparently come to aid in the rescue of their friends. The group crawled slowly through the tunnel, still carrying, pushing, and pulling the unconscious Spoot, who, despite his body being healed, would not wake. After some time, they emerged from the dark underground tunnel, crawling their way through like some escape movie, very cinematic. They emerged into a copse of trees, free from Kraghold, injured, and in bad shape. Trip had secretly recovered their equipment, and Defect was gifted a new sword by Umbradius, as his axe had actually been taken as a trophy or something by Pegon. So Defect was axeless until this moment, but now he's got a big old sword. At that moment, a tree then opened up and another figure emerged, an old familiar friend, Paduk Quickwing, fresh from Barteria. He arrived, healed them up some more, and then they used the Latch Blade to retreat to Fey Harbor for some much-needed rest and planning. While there was a bit of a slight commotion as Kepi came through and got you all some quickly made snacks and victuals, and Defect had some words were had with Defect by Archimedalius after Defect was kind of dismissive and rude to Umbradius. Whether or not Defect had meant to be that is how it appeared to the two other Arcanaton. Which then prompted a very heartwarming conversation from Grig and Defect, which was interesting. So this is where we pick up. You're all having snacks, and Kepi is like going around giving a clean. Adis and Kalen are having a conversation in the corner. Spoot, you have delivered up to his room. He is still unconscious. As I've got it, which says mushy stuff all over the place.
Lots of mushy stuff.
But such is the way of things. Wonderful. Sorry. Great. So this conversation is going on. It's about noon here. It's a little bit later in the day, or a little earlier in the day than where you previously were. And as you are having this conversation, the door opens up to the Misfit Manor, and a couple of forms or figures enter Misfit Manor. First is a small form that you have never seen before. It appears to be kind of a gnomish figure in a very fine suit with kind of white hair and kind of grayish skin and kind of a blue streak in his hair, carrying a few packages. And beside him, or just behind him, is Sherman Caterfall, your gardener. The gnome says, "Oh, yes, Sherman. By all means. Please, if you'd be so kind as to deliver those packages to Kepi, I'll get these put away in the linen. Oh, we have guests. Master Adis, Master Kalen. Oh, you must be the rest of the misfits. Hello. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Corin Tidyup. I am your new butler." And he bows. It is an absolute pleasure to meet you all. I've only recently come aboard the past few days or so. Master Aegis was very diligent in his hiring of a new aide-de-camp or such things. Hello. And you see that Corin is indeed a small individual. He's a kind of maybe like an under gnome or kind of deep gnome, maybe. But he's got very long pointed ears, skin that is kind of like gray. He's got like what looks to be like a purpley kind of birthmark on his neck. And otherwise in a very fine suit. He's got the full like kind of, a cravat and gloves, like very very butlery kind of style going on. Hello. It is a pleasure to meet you. You must be Master Defect, Master Grig, Mistress Olive, Master Nereus, and I don't see Master Spoot. I trust he's as well.
Not really, but he's in bed.
Well, if there's anything I can do, certainly I will be happy to aid in any way. I had just gotten some fresh cleaning supplies for Molly, so if you will get your rooms freshened up and made sure everything's well. Have you only just arrived?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, wonderful. Glad I did not. That I just wasn't expecting you back so soon. Although I've been told you can kind of come and go rather quickly.
We do that.
Well,
Yep.
You'll be happy to know that the repairs are complete of the manor, as you can see. New door. We replaced the fire damage from the unfortunate events. And certainly, if there's anything you need, just do let me know. My name is, once again, Corin Tidy Up.
Nice to meet you, Corin. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Mr. Soliv. It's a pleasure.
You're very chipper.
Well,
in
why
fairness,
not?
he hasn't been battling for the past 24 hours.
Is it bedtime yet? Didn't work here long enough yet.
Well, if you desire a nap, you certainly are able to do so. I can have Molly turn down the beds real quick. We keep them clean in general, but if you'd like fresh linens and all that, we'll get them set up right away.
We've been sleeping on the ground for a while. Fresh linens are really
a moot point. They won't be fresh after I'm in them.
Well, very good. They were changed a few days ago, but we like to keep it fresh, just in case you pop by.
That's always good. Yeah, thanks.
Of course. And Sherman, by this time, has walked off to the kitchen with Kepi to put away whatever sundry supplies they have received.
Well, yeah. What time is it? This is what I didn't write in notes.
So it's like a little after midday here.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
I think we're trying again, right?
I guess. I mean, I learned a tree where we came through the tunnel, but how do we make it better?
Well, I think we hire a dragon.
We killed all the dragons.
We did kill most of them, didn't we?
Not all of them. There's the one down by Sewell, but I don't know that he wants to come with us.
What if we talk to... I should talk to Flux.
Oh, yeah.
And see what Flux is up to. Maybe Flux will come and help. I think we should... what's his face? The very businesslike, really hates us. Did the... brain. Oh, God.
Which
thing
dude
with
who
the
hates
thing.
us? Oh.
We could help.
The dragon. The
dragon that we didn't. The dragon. The
red
dragon.
No. The red dragon.
Dragon.
Copper
No,
dragon?
the dead one. The Lich, Dracolich.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about Meridian.
Thank you. Yes. No, the dude who broke it with us.
Oh, that's the other guy.
Yeah, the last time you saw Meridian, he looked pretty roughed up.
Yeah, Meridian's a mess.
Yep.
Marilot.
Marilot. I was gonna say the other M who's not a frog.
Yeah.
I, for
Marilot.
some reason, have in my notes not a frog.
Not a frog. Because Fluxus is a frog?
Nope. It's been a while. Fluxus was the changeling wizard you met in the...
Oh, yes.
In the Glimmering Void.
Right. But there was a frog, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Somewhere.
The frog.
yeah. In Fey Harbor, a wizard tower appeared one night while you were all sleeping, right by the port.
And that's the frog. Yep.
And
Okay.
he started with an I. His name started with an I, and he was a
Mhm.
frog.
Those are all true statements. Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't make that up. I knew there was a frog guy.
Well, he's not a frog. He's like a frog-like humanoid.
Sure. Sure.
It's not like he's like a little frog, you know.
No. He's
Ribbit.
like he's a frog like Kermit the Frog.
Not as felty, but yeah, sure.
Sure.
Not as
Sure.
felty.
He probably has feet.
As a reminder, also like within the room, which I guess let's bring you all over to the manor,
Ooh.
and we will take a look at who's here with you.
Is that Paducah on the table?
Indeed, kind of fluttering between some snack trays on the table, you see Paducah Quickwing, with a bit more scarred these days, but still fluttering
Sorry,
around, enjoying a tasty treat.
He got a new outfit, didn't he?
More or less the same. Still kind of like armor of leaves and branches and that sort of thing, kind of leathers. He has revealed to you that he is apparently the chosen of the Mistress of the Glens.
Right.
So that's a fun development on his end.
Maybe they'll help.
There is also, of course, Kaelin and
Mhm.
Adis.
Mm-hmm.
There is also kind of off in a corner having a quiet discussion on their own after Umbradius kind of left the group. Archimedalius
Mm.
and Umbradius.
Very mysterious looking.
Yeah. Also, having this discussion with you in the room right now is Corin Tidia, your
Ah.
butler.
Very nice. Very nice.
Butler.
Yeah. He's a
Okay.
very he's an older gnome, it looks like, but
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. So, the moral of the story is we are going to try again. I have lots of objects, but last time it really didn't work.
Yeah.
What do we have to do?
We need to sleep.
Yeah. But we have to get there, and we have to go into the tower. Too bad we can't
Well-
just be at the top of the tower. Anybody know how to get to the top of the tower? We could fly to the top of the tower.
We
Do we-
can
Divide and conquer.
we can take a tree back to the tunnel and go back through the tunnel.
Yeah, is there a way to
Top of
separate the villains? Because I'm not worried about getting back there. We can do that just fine.
Yeah, just how do we bypass anything
How
in
to
between?
approach the battle?
Right. I don't
Um,
think they're going to let us walk through the front door again.
You also, of course,
Well,
have Trip Sharprunner here.
Mhm.
Yes.
I feel like we killed all their minions, right? So we don't have to worry about another small army
True.
between us and them.
Gotta worry about
I have-
Snaky Lady.
We're worried about Snaky Lady. I have a note that there are 12 Shade Reachers remaining. I don't know where that note came from, but I wrote it down.
I'll take it. Oligar
But,
Giant
like-
Face.
But presumably that there'll be some kind of guards on the front door, and they probably aren't going to let us walk in disguise again.
Yeah. Will you all help? Oh, wait. No, we needed to send a message and make sure that Nereus's family is safe.
Oh right. Well, they're not going to do that till after the ritual, so that's in a few days.
I don't know if they are doing it after the ritual.
What you overheard, Greg, was after the ritual, a task force is being dispatched to Laurentian.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we could
I
warn
didn't
them.
remember the after part.
So we should probably warn them, but they're presumably not dead yet. And Nereus will probably kick me for saying such a thing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Nereus is kind of having a discussion with Corin at the moment.
Arranging things.
Probably.
Very Nereus. Okay.
So yeah, so we should check in with Fluxus. We should check in with Nereus's family. What about the book? Have you written the book lately, Greg? What do the people on the other side of the book think?
There's somebody on the other side. I have to take it to him.
Oh. Right.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Nonetheless, you should probably write this shit in the book. It seems important.
Oh yeah, I was talking to the book on our walk home.
Oh.
My arm was going numb, so.
Fair.
Yeah, Greg has been very good about taking extraneous or voluminous notes and recordings in the book because that is their nature.
There you go. Yeah, y'all are probably sick of hearing Greg's review of the day.
Not at all.
Probably, but just wanted to make sure that you got the important stuff in there. I don't know, who else do we need to talk to?
We have to find somebody to revivify a Garyon. Or bring back to life.
I think we're past Revivify.
Hey, Corin! We're past Revivify.
Yes, Mr. Greg.
Is there anybody around who can bring dead people back to life?
I'm told that
Anybody
Master
come
Spoot
through
has
town?
that capability.
Yeah, it's gotta be heavier than that. Some
Also, he's unconscious.
God level stuff.
Unfortunately, I only know of a few gods and none of them on a personal level. I'm not terribly devout myself.
Oh, I wasn't saying that you would do it. Just like, anybody in town, Fey Harbor coming through who can do big spells.
Well, I can certainly do some investigating into that manner this evening, if that is what you would like.
Yeah. Let's keep a
probably
Garyon on ice and try that.
We should probably also re-up things like healing potions and diamonds. Because Olive has none of those things.
Okay.
Yeah. I will just remind you, the Raise Dead spell, which is a 5th level spell, would be enough for a Garyon because it's within a week or 10 days, I think. A week.
Cool.
Right. But we have to wake Spoot up first.
Yeah. You'd have to have someone who can cast that spell.
Oh, is that something Spoot has?
He has the ability to know.
And I don't remember. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a cleric spell.
Yeah, because he did it for the. Yeah, he did it for the dwarves.
Yeah, it's an hour-long ritual. It's not like a quick thing.
Right.
And he needs to be conscious for it, and he's currently not. And we don't know why.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is
okay. Well, yeah, I guess maybe we just run some errands.
Should we find someone to take a look at Spoot? Have we tried anything with Spoot? Not at all. We sent him some healing.
Paduk
we gave him some healing, and that was it.
Now that we're kind of out of danger, I can see if I can go up and learn anything extra. It might take some time, but I'm happy to do it.
That would probably help because we need to do something for him, and that would be easier if we knew what.
I bet it's God stuff.
Possibly God stuff.
It's possible. Spoot's very well thought of, as far as I know, within his order.
Yeah.
Although I've only really met Spoot from his order, so I guess maybe I don't know that.
Do we bring a Garion's body with? Oh yeah, we do have a Garion's body with us.
No, you do not.
We do not.
Nope.
We left a Garion behind.
Correct. Because it was only Trip and Nereus, and they had enough trouble getting Spoot out.
Yeah.
Right. Yep, I recall now. And Spoot was unconscious, so he wasn't there to object.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah, Duke, if you could take a look at him, that'd be super cool. I can like regenerate and stuff like that, but like that's as far as my healing goes.
Cool.
I can't like.
And just so you all
raise
know,
dead.
you still are like you have not had a long rest yet.
No.
You've not had a long rest. You've not had a short rest. You don't have all your new
We just
fancy
got home.
level stuff yet. You
Oh, right.
you increased in level, but you haven't gained any of the fun stuff yet because you have not completed a long rest. Because but mere hours ago, you were imprisoned in a very uncomfortable jail cell.
Right. Yeah.
But you are indeed back in Fey Harbor, where you have access to people, shops, your large sum of money in the bank here.
All right, let's go get some healing potions and things while Paduk is looking over Spoot.
Can I send somebody to get healing potions and things? Because I think I'm going to take a nap.
That's also probably a good idea.
And do some thinking.
If you give Corin a list of what you want, and if you have anywhere specific you would like him to go, he will certainly go shopping or have someone obtain these things for you.
Great.
Cool.
I'm going to write a note signed to Haggy saying, "Hello, dear." And Spoot says hi and he's asleep. And because I think Haggy likes Spoot a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, yeah, I have a bunch of regular potions, but let's get a couple of healing potions. Wait, I don't have this fancy Haggy healing potion, right? I gave that to somebody else.
I don't know. I have taken all of the potions I had, including the fancy sparkly one. But that was from the Veil Piercer.
Okay. I think I was dumb and just didn't take any of my potions.
I took all my potions, except for the one of water breathing, which seems less useful.
Cool.
Yeah. I am potionless, I am diamondless.
Alright, add your things to my list. How many of each? See if Haggy will give us some good stuff.
Yeah, you know that Haggy like has most like common stuff. Like anything like rare is probably going to be more difficult to find.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We should at least get some, like, whatever healing potions Haggy has, we should get.
If Haggy has 5, you want 5?
Yes.
Great. Do you want any graders?
If she has
Or
any.
superiors if she has?
You can instruct Corin to obtain like the most powerful she has.
Yeah. We should get 5 of the best healing potions Haggy has.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Don't they cost like 300 apiece?
It varies.
Yeah, whatever.
It varies.
Okay.
But you also know that as head of the household, Corin has access to the house funds.
Bank account. Cool. Cool. Alright, great.
Which
diamonds.
You have the bank account information, I believe, Greg?
In the bank, the party has, according to my last typing, 42,002 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces.
Great. Repairs on the house cost 1,500 gold.
Okay.
So that was to repair all the damage that Oligar did.
Mm-hmm.
202 minus 1,500. Okay.
and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 times 3 is 300. And another 550 gold deduction for 3 months of staff wages.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope, that is it. Because you haven't left any like specific instructions.
Yeah. Great. So then we have 39,952.
Well, actually, general household maintenance would be another 30 gold, 10 gold per month, which is
Great.
like food, cleaning supplies, da 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 da.
Cool.
Sure.
39,922 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces. I think that is fine to get some potions. I think they're like 300 apiece. It's fine. Let's do that.
Yeah, we get five of the best healing potions Haggy has, and we should probably get a couple of diamonds at least. I don't know if anyone else has any. I have none.
Spoot has 2 325s, and I have 5 that are worth 60.
So you have one set, and he has 2.
Yeah.
Or one raised dead.
Yeah, we can get a couple more. You want diamonds that are equivalent to what?
To
300?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the number needs to be.
300. 300 is the answer. That is the most expensive diamond I can use. I don't know what Spoot can use.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually you need to go to impressive feats to get spell component type stuff.
Yeah. Gonna go to Haggis and impressive.
Insurance did not cover the fire damage.
No.
What happens when you piss off an Oni?
Nuuli has not engaged in the racket that is insurance. So. But, you know.
Fair.
They're only like 20 years out of the end of a magical apocalypse, so could be soon.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm out of ideas. That's probably it.
I think that's probably all we need. Defect is happy with his sword?
We think.
I don't want to admit it, but yes.
Yeah.
Everyone else still has all their weaponry.
Yeah.
I think that's
except for Spoot. His mace is currently, as far as you know, sitting on that bridge back in Kraghold.
Right.
Oh, I thought he had the baton of morale.
He does still have the baton of morale, but Requiem is currently sitting on the bridge, as it seems no one among the Shade Reachers or Oligar's lieutenants was able to remove it from where it fell.
Right.
Well, we'll wait for Spoot. Maybe Spoot will wake up and decide. Right? I don't want to, assume Spoot wants a mace. Spoot never uses a mace, really.
Not very often.
People should choose their own weapons.
And it's not like he has 0 weapons. He just doesn't have that one.
Yeah.
And maybe we can swing by and pick it up.
Right.
So Paduk has gone upstairs to do some investigating into Spoot's current comatose state. Meanwhile, you see Trip talking animatedly with Adis and Kaelin in a corner.
Can we eavesdrop?
Yeah. They're not
actually. I'm sorry, I don't want to eavesdrop. I have a request of Adis, because he has done this before, and I think it makes sense to do it again. he usually makes my totems.
Oh.
He's made the previous 2, so since I leveled up, I do want to ask him to make my last totem.
He looks at you. Sure, Defect. What would you like?
And I'll pull out a claw from a bear that we fought so long ago that I saved because I knew this day would be coming. A bear totem.
Yeah, it'll take me a while, but I'll whittle something out of it.
Just like the old times, huh?
Yeah. No, not a problem.
Thank you, Aegis.
Of course. Yeah, I can have this ready, in a few hours, I think. The conversation that you overhear, Trip, Kalen, and Adis are talking about the layout of Kraghold, because Trip did some investigating after he snuck in the first time around, and kind of got a good map of the area, it seems like. So he's relaying that information to them. It seems like the underground area, the dungeons where you guys were kept, is just below the main level of the ziggurat.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the main level of the ziggurat, which is that big, mostly that big foyer room and a few hallways and smaller storage areas. And then the second floor consists of like barracks for Shurga, Pigon, and Shuzaksa, who took over Bodo's old apartments.
Right, and those are the ones we rifled through, right?
No.
No, we rifled Oligar's.
You rifled Oligar's, which is on the 3rd floor of the ziggurat.
Mm-hmm.
And your equipment was kept kind of in a room in one of the underground sections. The underground is more expansive and has more like hidey holes and stuff like that, whereas the ziggurat is fairly straightforward. There wasn't any kitchens that he found, so the kitchens must be elsewhere. Presumably in one of the auxiliary buildings that you all saw when you walked through the grounds of Kraghold itself.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the general layout that he is conveying to...
so it's basically a giant dormitory with a bridge to nowhere on top.
Yeah. Which he did not get... like, he didn't go all the way up the stairs. Like, he didn't cross the bridge or anything like that, because there was a Shade Reachers all in a group trying to, like, pull the rod out, or the mace off. But you do get the sense that Trip got, like, the main layout pretty solid. So that's good.
Hey, Trip, what do you think about our chances of getting back in?
Well, it shouldn't be too bad. The entryway on the Kraghold side in that storeroom is pretty well disguised and hidden, I think. Hopefully if they find that copse of trees there, it just looks like an animal warren or something.
Sure.
But as long as they don't find the tunnel, I don't see any sort of problem. I'm sure they're going crazy over there now if Oligar's learned that you all have gotten out of there.
I kind of want to be able to bypass as much of that as possible and just get up. But I don't know how realistic that is.
Well, a lot of them were dead, so they got to deal with bodies, and
Sure.
so that's probably what they're doing.
They've got some They've got some cleanup to do.
Mm-hmm. And looked like your other metallic acquaintance over there did quick work of those 2 guards that were in your holding cells area, so...
Mm-hmm.
Which none of you had noticed that they were actually dead. You thought they were just sitting in the chairs.
Yeah.
Okay. I almost feel bad.
I know, that place sucked.
Yeah, it just turned out one of the guards was kind of, starting to question authority.
Yeah, well, I bet he questioned it even more from the afterlife, so meh.
That's true. Amber's brain is broken. So
I think we should send these
that's
people
what I
to
have.
run errands. I think we should all take a nice nap. And I think we should see what we can do about getting Spoot awake and see who's willing to go back with us. I mean, so it's the middle of the day here, but like we've crossed time zones and we've had a hell of a couple of days. I think we can just sleep, and if we leave in the middle of the night, we leave in the middle of the night.
That works.
I'm not going to have any trouble sleeping. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah. And just to remind you all for timeline purposes, the ritual is at midnight tomorrow night, not tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we all go to sleep now and wake up in the middle of the night, that gives us 24 hours roughly to get there.
Sure.
Get in place.
Yeah. So like you can definitely like take a nap today, but like you kind of do have to wait for like evening to take a full long rest, just so you know, mechanically.
Grig would like to retire to their room. Grig has things to do.
Okay. So, Grig, you go upstairs to the 3rd floor into your little side room there.
Yep. And Grig is going to do the most uncharacteristic thing ever. Sit right down like they practiced with the Platinum Dragon Priest person. And say, "Are you there, God? It's me, Grig."
Okay. Is there a specific entity you are reaching out to?
The Platinum Dragon. Because that's who we practiced before with the guy whose name I can't remember, but it was really fun. They handled the questions beautifully. Yeah. And unlike last time when Greg was like, "This is weird, I don't know if this is going to work, whatever, let's just find out if it works," Greg is hoping it works. Greg is shaken enough that they are looking past themselves.
Interesting. Okay. So you are reaching out to the Platinum Dragon as Sanjay.
Sanjay, thank you.
Yes. Who was the the High Priest of the Platinum Hope. The Platinum Herald was his like official title.
Sure.
Kind of a surprisingly young, blind red dragonborn. So you go through these meditations and thoughts. What is like in Grig's heart as they are attempting this procedure?
It is a little bit of hope. A lot of bit of like, okay, so this whole thing is bigger than I am. We need something big, and it needs to be bigger than just me. Like, it's that whole, the world is bigger, larger, like, what do I do now? Definitely like an ask for help, but not a like help me. It's a like everybody I know just died, and this really bad thing is happening, and I think I might care. What? What? I don't just want to murder this guy. Now it feels like there's more at stake. I don't know. It's all that. It's like everything that was in the reason my charisma sucks now. And maybe you should be real. Maybe you are real, and maybe that's why this other thing is so hard. And maybe you'll talk to me this time, because Sanjay said you might.
Cool. So Grig is up in their room, attempting that. Defect, what are you doing? You see Umbratus and Medallius are still chatting over in the corner. You have given Bearclaw to Adis, who seems to be finishing up his discussion with Trip and Kaelin, and will probably soon go somewhere and probably out to the bungalow and start working on your totem.
Mm-hmm. I think Defect would, harkening back to previous conversation with Greg and with what happened with Bradius and I forgot his name.
Archimedallius.
Archimedallius. Thank you. He will approach Adis and Kaelin and see if he could steal these two away, or even if just Adis or just Kaelin, one of the two.
They're both happy to go with you if you have something in mind. Or if you just want one of them, that's fine too. They're amenable.
Yeah, I mean, however you want to roleplay this.
Well, you tell me. Who do you
know,
want with
I know
you?
This is Tanner's character, so I don't know like how much.
So Adis is now officially an NPC. He's retired.
Okay.
He's a retired character, so you don't have to worry about any of that.
Okay, great. Then because I have more history with Adis, I'll see if I can just steal Adis away from the group.
Yeah, you can have. You can. Adis will join you over in a corner.
And Defect is going to be, awkward about this, but making small talk, he'll eventually come around and ask Adis, "So, how are you and Kaelin doing?"
We're good. Being home has provided a lot of opportunity that we really needed. He's been through a lot more than I have in terms of like time. So it's been good to catch up.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Let me propose to you a crazy scenario, and you tell me what you would do in this situation. Let's imagine that Kaelin had no recollection of who you are and nothing about your past together, but you still remember everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What would you do?
I would see if I could reawaken his memories. I guess I would see if there was like a magical solution. I would hope that he would still, well, I don't know how comfortable you are with this, but I would hope he would still find me attractive enough and engaging enough to fall back in love with me.
Defect is like fidgeting from one foot to another, not quite sure what to do with his hands. He's kind of like rubbing his legs a little bit, crossing them, bringing it back down to his side. So he's clearly uncomfortable.
You're acting weird.
Yes, you haven't. been up to date with what's been happening in my personal life.
Well, I didn't even know you had
And
one.
I will. You know what? I'm surprised I have one too. Came as a complete shock to me.
Dying.
I thought I was just a simple fighter. All I had to do was swing my axe. No battle strategy beyond that.
Well, life isn't
and then
usually
this
that
happened.
simple. It's kind of complicated and messy.
I'll quickly give a rundown to Adis, the situation between myself and Umbradius.
Okay. So, like, you tell him, like, about the shared memories and all this stuff?
Yep.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot
Yeah.
to take in.
Yeah,
Well,
I thought it was easy enough to just ignore it at first and hope it goes away, but I think I have to face this problem head on, but
yeah,
I'm not
well,
quite sure how.
people are complicated. I don't know all the details, obviously. But according to you, the memories that you've been shared in your old life, you were with this person and they were close to you in a presumably romantic way?
Mushy. Yes, I know.
Well, you
That's,
can stop
that's
calling...
the irony of it all, is it not? That's
Well,
God's joke.
Mushy's not bad, first of all. Trust me.
I know someone who would beg to differ. You know someone who would beg to differ.
Well, mushy may not be to everybody's taste, but that doesn't make it bad. But if it were me and the situation was reversed and Kalen didn't have his memories and I found him again, I would certainly want to try to win him back, but if he had changed enough or showed no interest, then I'd have to respect that. It sounds like you haven't actually had a conversation about this with Umbradius. So they're kind of in this limbo right now, which doesn't seem entirely fair. But it's also not fair of them to expect everything from you right away, if that's what they're doing. But it sounds like all they've done is shared their memories with you and kind of said nice things. It doesn't seem like they've tried to force anything. They obviously, they showed up and acted...
Forced.
Well, they showed up and acted, when they needed to help save you, which is kind of a big deal. And if you kind of dismissed them like that, there might have been a misunderstanding when you said that you sleep with Greg, because I know you and Greg don't actually sleep together, because sleep together is what people say when they refer to having sex.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Is it really with... Oh, God.
Yeah,
no. Oh, no. Is that what he thinks now? Oh, no.
It might be what they think, because you said it that way.
Oh, no. That was not my... No. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And, like, Defects just, like, starts squirming even more. It's like, oh, my God, no.
Yeah, so if you said, quote, I sleep with Greg, they probably thought that you were being metaphorical or actually having intercourse with them. So that could be a point of discussion that you might need to clear up. Now, I'm not saying that you need to rekindle things with them. If you really don't feel that attachment, that's a valid thing. If you don't have any of those memories, then you don't have that experience to build on those attachments. But when we met, you were also very isolated and alone, and it sounds like they can give you some sort of a community that maybe we can't. You're always going to be loved here, and you're always going to be welcome here and a part of this group, team, family, whatever you want to call us. But, you know, they can provide you maybe like a cultural reference that I can't. Why do you think I've been looking so hard for my people? Like, we've been trying to find Lycos and Lycosian relics and hints and clues for months. Well, I've got a couple leads and like things are looking good, but I like you all, I care about you all immensely, but there's something about going home that's appealing. At least to me. And I don't think you've known that you had a home until fairly recently, it sounds like. Or another home, at any rate.
Since washing up on the shores of Winton and eventually being rescued by Greg, I haven't thought too much about where I come from. It's too complicated. It's easier to think of home as being wherever Greg is. And then slowly being with you and Spoot. And oh my god, I forgot his character's name.
Well,
Shame on me.
With the rest of us, I get it.
You know, my sense of home expanded.
Mm-hmm.
Carly, that's it. Not Olive. No, Carly's dead. Oh.
So you feel at home with us, is what you say.
Yes, I do, but I'm being presented with a new definition of home.
Well, you can talk to me about it all you want,
And-
but I don't have the answers that they do.
I guess I'm just afraid I would have to leave this family for another. That even though they show me all the memories, I don't have any bonds to them. If that makes sense.
I get where you're coming from, but you know, take it from me. You never really leave a family, even if you go off to the other side of the world or get spun 1,000 years in the future. You know, I mean, Kaylin's always going to be my family, even if we hadn't refound each other. Like, I have parents. Like, they're probably still not alive, but there might be descendants, you know, cousins, who knows? And that's one of the reasons I'm looking for them. Like, when Kaylin became my family, I didn't leave the rest of my family behind, I just added to it. Family's one of those things that even if people leave or die, it doesn't shrink, it only grows. You may not be able to contact everybody all the time, but they're still there. They're a part of you. They've influenced you. They've been a part of your story. And you are missing part of your story. So you're just maybe missing a part of your family. If you want it back and you have that interest in getting it back, or otherwise building them into your new family, that's up to you. Like, you get to make that choice. It's your life, and you get to choose how you live it and who you spend it with. But family is not, necessarily who you're born to or who you're married to. It's who you choose to be your family. And it's just as strong and valid in any way you put it together. I don't know if that helps.
You've given me a lot. Excuse me. You've given me a lot to think about. You're not such a stupid human after all.
Thank you. And I know this is difficult for you and not really the kind of stuff you like to talk about. I'm glad I've been helpful. But really, the person you need to talk about it to is over there. Now, I'm going to let you do whatever you thinking you got to do, whatever talking you feel like you got to do. I'm going to go get started on this. And he holds up the bear claw.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. You've given me a few ideas, so, it's great. And he kind of walks back out from the corner around the wall, kind of gives Kalen a squeeze on, the arm, and nods to everybody and exits. Olive, what are you doing?
I think Olive is going outside because she's still not super happy about being inside.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's outside the manor. I think she's going to find a nice sunny spot to turn into gray and curl up and just meditate on kind of rooting in the ground and trying to ground and recenter herself.
Cool. As you kind of walk out the door, you immediately notice Kruthi is kind of curled up next to one of the stairs, just kind of sitting there, and she kind of looks up to you and then kind of goes back to just being a Kruthrik. It's kind of relaxing, it seems. Make a perception check for me as you head on out.
8.
Cool. So you kind of go around, go to a tree that you're particularly fond of, and turn into gray. And as you're kind of sitting there, you hear kind of a muttering not too far away.
I look at Q3.
Kruthi is nowhere near you. It sounds like someone is muttering to themselves, like a human.
Look around.
Yeah, kind of getting up, you kind of can tell which direction it's coming from, and you kind of snake between a few bushes and shrubberies and whatnot. And you find Griff, your old groundskeeper.
Alright, is he...
He is...
is he doing something?
It seems like he's at a tree that looks like it's having a rough time of it in this cold weather. The leaves are gone, but the bark has also got some kind of fungus on it. And it seems like he's got some concoction he's spraying onto the roots and the bark, and he's muttering to himself. All right, so this one better work, because God's damn it, these damn trees, get this fucking thing. Made it a little more aggressive this time around to take out this damn fungus. Griff is not a particularly friendly individual. He's much rather tend his trees and leave me alone kind of guy. but like you can tell that like he doesn't just do it out of a sense of duty. Like he cares in the way he is like he is muttering a string of profanities, but it is legit, his care for what he's doing.
Olive's going to go up to him and do the twine around his ankles thing.
Cool.
Like a cat, as a cat.
All right, so you do that, and he's like, "Aw, friggin' cat.
Meow.
What do you want? I'm not feeding you. Get out of here. Don't you have a home to go to?"
Gonna circle the tree.
Hey, get away from there. Don't lick that. Get out of here. It's not for you.
Meow.
Yeah, he just is like shooing you away.
Olive's gonna climb the tree.
Right, you climb the tree, he's like, fine. Well, if you lick it and die, don't come crawling to me about it.
Meow. Gonna settle herself in the branches of this tree.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's
In the sun.
it's bare leaf like most of the trees here. The winter is not fully on, but autumn is in its like last bit here. Fay Harbor's a bit more south than where you were, so most of the leaves are gone, and you can get a good view. You see 3 of your 6 house guards are like patrolling the grounds, and it's otherwise fairly quiet. As you're kind of like communing with nature and like laying on this tree and kind of being out and about, just go ahead and make a wisdom check for me.
Generic wisdom check, huh?
Mhm.
20.
Cool. So you have magic normally that lets you like speak to plants and that kind of thing. Being in this tree, you get a sense that it is like there's there's like an ache in the tree. Like you get the sense that like, oh, there's an ache, like a sore muscle. But that it feels better, and it has a sense of gratitude towards that human who gave it whatever, like that Griff individual. And you get a sense of like the tree has respect or fondness for Griff in a way. And as you're kind of dozing and your senses are kind of going beyond the tree, the bushes, the grass, the occasional like bulb within the ground and the flower beds, they all seem to share that sentiment, that they are appreciative of Griff. They don't seem to have any problem with his like personality quirks. They just get a sense that he cares about them and that he tries to keep them healthy.
Good. Olive's just going to try to radiate like comfort and love to the plants.
Sure. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So
I didn't really have an ulterior motive, just to,
cool.
making Olive feel better.
Yeah. So you're off in this tree. I just kind of wandered away. Great. Cool. Nereus has gone off into his room. Grig, you have spent some time up in your rooms, meditating, calling out for this entity that you really don't know anything about. You're making your case, you're pleading, doing all the things that you think you should be doing. And as you are presenting this in a hopeful way, after a while, something feels warm inside of you. And your immediate reaction is to check if you're on fire. But you're not. There is a hope or a warmth or something that is like growing within you. And you get the slightest sense that you aren't alone in your room. Like, there is a presence whose attention you've caught. And for a moment, it fills you with a sense of hope and courage and sort of confidence and bolstering respect that you weren't feeling a moment ago. It's that feeling of like knowing someone is in your corner, which Greg hasn't always had. So what you don't get is you don't get an avatar, you don't get words, you don't get an angelic apparition or a vision or anything like that. But a definite sense that something from beyond your usual ken has heard you and reached out to you in some way.
Cool.
And it's real quick. Like, the actual contact is but a heartbeat. But the lingering effects remain.
Huh. Greg will still continue to sit there, most uncharacteristically.
Cool. Are you still engaging in like meditative prayers, or are you just now sitting and contemplating what just happened?
I think that Greg is still... It's for science at this point now. It's like, okay, so I did that and that. So that must mean you're real. So I guess I should probably just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that Greg has an expectation, but is like, oh, this is real. I'm going to keep practicing.
Okay.
Let's do this right.
Fair enough. Defect, as you're kind of like in this corner thinking, you see that Corin sort of walks up to you. It looks like he's got a list in his hand and like a couple of like satchels on his back, or like a backpack or something, and a coat that he's put on again. Master Defect, is there anything that you require while I'm out? I've got a list from Messer Greg and Mistress Olive.
Just a moment, let me check. Defect will go through all his pockets and compartments. Yeah. It'll probably be a good idea to have some health potions.
In addition to the 5 requested by Messer Greg.
No, I guess that covers it.
I can certainly inquire for more if that is what you would like.
You know what? There is something. Last time, we got our asses handed to us because they were invisible people. Is there a potion that lets you see invisible things?
Oh, I don't know. I can certainly inquire at Haggis and at Marvelous Feats.
Please do. But aside from that...
Or Impressive Feats, I guess it is. Old Conjurer's place. Yes.
Aside from that... there's nothing else.
Very well. And he kind of like pauses and like looks up at you, and then kind of looks away, and then kind of back at you, and then, I'm sorry, Master Defect. I know it's not really my place, and I've only just actually met you for the first time. But it seems to me you're having a bit of a personal crisis at the moment. If you ever would like, I just want you to know that I have had many relationships in my time, and familial and non-familial, and if you ever have a question to ask, I would certainly be willing to offer my opinion. As you wish.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. I am a firm believer in the unification of people. And all that entails. But I'll leave you to your whatever it is you're doing, I suppose. I'll be going shopping. Sir? And he kind of turns around and walks out. So, Defect, what are you going to do? Or what would you like to do, I guess is the question.
Yeah. I think Defect is... I'm sorry, what time of day is this?
It's afternoon.
Like,
you know that Kepi's in the kitchen, like, making a meal for everybody at the moment.
Okay.
She brought out snacks, but she wasn't expecting all of you to be here, so she's whipping up a quick something.
Right. Defect still has to, like, kind of sort through his head a little bit. So I think he'll step outside onto the grounds and maybe just take a walk around.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, you see Trip and Kaylin are sitting down at the table having a discussion. But you depart or leave and go out onto the grounds. Are you just kind of like meandering around?
Yeah. Just
Cool.
doing circles really around the
Make a perception check.
building. Or a 7.
All right, 7.
Lost in thought.
Yeah, you're kind of lost in thought, and so you almost miss it when you kind of almost walk directly into Grieve, who is one of your guards that you employ here. Grieve is the tall, half-giant... yeah. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, sir."
No need to apologize. I've been lost in my thoughts.
He kind of like hefts this great axe that he carries with him. I get that.
Defect looks at... Even though Defect does like his new sword, there's still a pang of loss for his axe.
Nice sword.
Nice axe.
Thanks. You know, it takes care of people when it needs to be done and scares off a lot of others, so it's, you know, it's pretty good. But that looks pretty fancy. Trade up, because you used to have an axe too, right?
I did, until it was taken from me.
Oh, rough.
and this was given to me, but still feels new. Doesn't quite feel right, but I guess in time. And then, like as Defect is saying that, he's like,
a few heads chopped off, a few arms dismembered, and it'll feel right as rain.
Right. With time, with more time with it, it could get better. Huh. Thank you, Grieve. You gave me a lot more to think about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
No, usually this would be a good time to apologize, but this particular instance, it's okay.
Okay. Well, sorry to bust in on your thinking.
No. No. I'm sorry. You're making your rounds.
Yes, sir.
May I join you?
If you want, you're the boss.
Yeah, just show me the path you take. What you look out for.
Sure. And he takes you on pretty much a perimeter stroll. You bypass Fachi, who is the water ganassi who works for you. And they nod to each other. And Fachi smiles and gives a dip of the head to you. Sir? And continues on his rounds.
Okay.
It seems like he and Grieve like do a patrol route and like they go opposite directions of each other. And Grieve is just like, I just keep an eye out for any kind of signs of infiltration, disturbed bushes or broken branch or anything like that from over the wall, footprints, any kind of weird sign like that. You continue on, you get to the main gate, and you run into Lana, the half-elven woman with the long sword. And she looks at Grieve and looks at you and says, Defect? Anything to report, Grieve? Nope, pretty quiet so far. Nothing. Defect wanted to walk with me, so he is. Oh, well, that's fine.
I am.
He pays the bills, so whatever you want, Defect, I guess. Is everything okay? Are you worried about security? I know we had a breakdown, but we didn't anticipate someone kind of appearing out of nowhere.
Right. Appearing out of nowhere. And again, like, Defect is like connecting everything these guards have to do to like what's happening with his relationship with Umbridia. It's like, yeah, did come out of nowhere. But how are you going to fix that?
Well, I don't know. We saw him turn into mist after the fact. I assume he became a cloud, and that's how he kind of snuck in. And we weren't on the lookout for strange clouds, but we are now. So so we're keeping an eye on the sky as well. And instead of two of us at the gate, we've got one of us at the gate and two patrolling the grounds at all times. And the other three do the same at night. So that's good.
Right. Came out of nowhere. And now you just keep looking for it.
Well, that's our job, sir.
Right. But you don't want it to come back.
Well, I mean, between you and me, I would much rather keep you safe and not have to fight anything, because then I get paid and I don't get hurt. But
right.
I have no qualms about putting myself in danger to protect the grounds, the house, the staff, my other friends here, and y'all. And you all, if danger does come, that's my job.
Mm-hmm. And you'll rush into this danger and come out all the more stronger for it, right?
Well, so far, I have.
Thank you, Lana. You have given me a lot to think about.
Okay. Hopefully it was helpful. I mean, if you've got suggestions for patrols or security sweeps or anything, I'm certainly willing to amend my tactics to whatever you would prefer.
Do have a question. Is there some sort of bell at this gate? How do you relay the message of danger at the gate if the other two are walking the grounds?
Oh, with this, and she holds up like a horn, like a blowhorn or something at her side. Yeah, three quick blows, and we head towards it. It's pretty simple, but straightforward.
And then I'm going to look. Are the two other guards with me, or just Grieve?
So Grieve is still there. Fachi is on
Fachi
rounds.
kept walking around. Okay.
Yeah,
Grieve
like you walked this way, and Fachi walked the other way.
Does Grieve have a horn as well?
He does, yeah.
Interesting. So even when you're far apart, you can communicate with each other.
Yes, sir. Well, to a degree. I mean, that's what the horns are for. If one of us needs the others, they'll come rushing to the horn.
Right. And again, Defect's thinking like, well, if I did go back with Umbradius, maybe there's a way to keep in contact with Greg. That's what he's thinking. He's not saying out loud, but
sure.
That's his like thought pattern right now. It's like,
yeah. So you're standing there nodding, and Lana is just looking at you, kind of unsure.
I'm not making you nervous, am I?
No, sir. I just want to make sure that I'm fulfilling all of your requirements and your needs.
Defect will like lay a hand on her shoulder and say, "You have given me so much more than that. Thank you."
You're welcome, sir.
And Defect will just keep on walking around the grounds.
Okay, you kind of go off on your way. Lana goes back to being on guard at the gate, and Grieve continues his pattern of walking in another direction. So about 10 to 20 minutes later, around this time, you hear a voice from the house. Kepi calls out that lunch is ready. And all of you kind of head that way, or not, as you desire. And as you kind of head in for lunch, that's where we'll take a 5-minute break.
Woohoo!
Indeed. Which is lovely. So we will be back in 5 minutes after a quick short break. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. And we'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. We are back. Thank you for sticking with us. Sorry, Nightbot is not responding. I'll have to look into that. The commands are not commanding, which is lame. So I'll have to figure that out. So, you all head back in, or is anyone not coming down or heading back in for lunch?
I'll come down.
Yeah, I'll come back in.
Yeah, I'll come in.
Okay.
I'm still a cat, though.
Last meal together.
So you're still a cat.
Still a cat. For now.
You sneak in one of the doors, and Kepi is like, "Oh, aren't you a darling little thing? Oh, look at you now."
Meow.
"Oh, well, you are cute, but you can't stay here, love. You're just... Oh, you're adorable. We don't have no cats here, so away you go."
Olive will cease being a cat.
Oh! Mistress Olive. Sorry, I didn't know it was you. You nearly gave me a heart attack. I'm so sorry, dearie.
I heard there was lunch.
Oh, indeed, ma'am. Right this way. And you all see before you there is a nice little feast of some bread and breads and meats, and a large serving tureen of some kind of hearty soup, as well as a
I like
few
the word
other
tureen.
side dishes.
Soup and bread and cheeses. I like meats and cheeses.
Yeah, it's a nice little luncheon. Yeah. So you all partake of that. When you have, and it's like Trip is there, Adis, Kalen, Paduk has come down, and are there. Umbradius and Archimedalius are kind of just sitting off in the sunroom area. They are not partaking of the food.
How's Spoot doing?
He's breathing, so he's alive, so that's good. There's a link between his body and, I presume, his consciousness or soul. It's sort of ethereal and you can't really see it. But if you're tuned in right, you can kind of get the vibe. Basically, his body is here, but his soul's on a trip. Wizards can do this kind of stuff too. They usually do it. They do it with arcade means and use it to project their astral forms into other places. I don't know if Spoot is actively doing it or if his divinity has pulled him out for some reason. I'm not sure.
Did he eat the wrong mushrooms? I thought I'd been checking on things we were foraging.
It's not like that. It's not like an acid trip. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. It's his body is here and safe, and his soul is elsewhere. But it's not gone. There's a trail of breadcrumbs or a trail of string leading him back to it when he's ready.
So, do we need to help him?
No, I don't sense any malevolence in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get the sense that he is being withheld from us. I get the sense that he is being... He was removed. It's the best I can tell, he in his unconsciousness was taken, his soul was protected and taken in some capacity, and then out of that he was
tied to a dead body for a day, so I can imagine he's probably pretty upset about that.
Well, that's traumatic too, but if he was unconscious, he might not even have known.
Sure.
But
probably better if you didn't know.
Right. And who's to say what we know in unconsciousness until we're conscious? And he's not yet.
Mhm.
So I think his soul has been protected and maintained protection, but I get the sense he can return when he's ready.
I see. Okay.
The mistress has never done this to me, but she has departed me that sometimes certain individuals require this sort of care.
Okay.
Could be a trauma, or it could be something else. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. I know the generalities is kind of how it works, because I don't talk to the Horizon Walker. He's not really what I go for.
Sure.
But I don't
So,
get any malevolent sense about Spook's predicament.
do we need to feed him?
Well, no, his body's fine.
All right. Did you tuck him in before you left?
Well, no, he was just kind of on top of the covers when I got there, and he's kind of heavy for me to move.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Always happy to help. So you all kind of finish up your meal, at the end of which Kepi brings out a little box. Here you go, dearie. Something special that we had brought in just this morning. It's what Corin was. It's one of the things Corin was picking up. Here you go, loves. And there's a little box with. It looks to be. It's just like a white kind of box, made out of some kind of
cake box.
It's made out of. It's not wood, but it's like a stiff leaves in a way.
Sure.
And it's got a gold ribbon around it and a little tag on the box that says IG Treats.
Cool. Let's open it.
Yeah, you open it up, and inside there are some little dark brown round sort of things in a little bit of parchment, like baking parchment or something, and they're just kind of nestled in there. There's maybe a dozen or so of them. They're about that big, kind of round, spherical.
I was gonna poke one.
There's a slight give to it, but it doesn't do anything. Kepi is cleaning dishes, and Molly has come out of the kitchen to give her a hand.
I was going to pick up the one that she poked.
Yeah, you pick one up, you peel the paper off. It smells. It's weird. It kind of smells slightly bitter, but not unpleasant.
Where did you say these came from?
Oh, it's a new sweet shop. It's called IG Treats. It's quite the rage, actually, dearie. I'm sure it's quite tasty. Oh, don't you worry about it, though.
I was going to lick it.
So you lick it, and it's there's this powder that comes off. It's a little bitter, but not unpleasant. But there's also a sweetness, and you realize, oh, it's chocolate.
Olive will nibble it, have a little nibble.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's got a softer center, and it's almost like a fudgy consistency, and there's a good strong flavor to it. It's sweet and bitter at the same time. It's a bonbon, essentially, is what this is. Like a truffle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Olive is not that civilized.
No.
She's waiting to see if her lips swell up or anything like that before she
nope.
eats it for real.
Nope. Nereus just kind of looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and pops one in his mouth, and is good.
Olive is going to give him a look like, "What's your problem, buddy?" And then she'll eat the rest of it.
He's nonplussed.
That's fair.
Trip pops one. Everybody else can have one if they would like one. They're very tasty.
Sure.
Yes. Greg, it is a much having the sweet tooth that you do, they are exceptionally tasty to you.
Excellent.
Yeah, so everybody has one. There's a couple left over.
Greg's gonna take one up to Spoot.
Okay. Yeah, Spoot is still unconscious, having been laid on his bed, the large bed that once belonged to Oligar. And you can put it on the table next to the bed.
I'm gonna actually wave it under Spoot's nose and be like, "Hey, these are really tasty. Can I have yours?"
There's no response.
I'll take that as a yes. And then I eat it. And then I'll be like, "Hey, guess what? I think I talked to a god." I mean, like, kind of. They did the thing where I just sort of felt it. But they might be real. Anyway. Good luck. You should probably come back in time so that, you can land the killing blow like you do a lot. Bye.
Yeah, okay, great. So you leave having eaten Spoot's truffle, which is very in character. So I love it. Wonderful. Yeah, you return. It seems people are winding down. There's still a couple left if anybody else wanted one or whatever wanted to do with it.
Olive's going to stick one in her pocket.
Okay. You stick it in your pocket. It's there.
Pocket tots.
So the dishes are cleared. Y'all finish up. Trip and Kalen kind of look at each other and then look towards the gathered group. So, do you have plans? Do you have a plan on what you're gonna do? Because you gotta. This ritual is tomorrow night, according to Trip, and you gotta sleep before then.
Yeah, I think we
And
should go to bed.
consists of using scrolls. And if I do this right, I'm rolling away. That's hilarious. If I do this right, then I think that I can make some stuff that's going to be useful. Because then I could cast some spells. You know that thing that I did for Spoot, where if Spoot poked himself with the screwdriver, he could see in the dark? I think I could do that with seeing invisible people. And we could do that, and that doesn't take a spell slot. It doesn't exhaust me because I've already done it, And so that's about as far as my plans go. Anybody else?
I don't know. I just figured we were going to go back there and fuck shit up.
I tried the plan thing once.
Well, it sounds like going in with a very general plan kind of got you all in the predicament you were in last time.
Yeah.
So maybe now you know what you're up against. Maybe you...
Well, I think...
what? You guys are the adventurers. I'm just Adis's husband.
You're not wrong. You are also a criminal mastermind. Let's be clear, Kaylin.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
We met you, and you were running a crime syndicate, so...
I was involved with a criminal organization that I could not figure a way out of.
Yeah. You were high enough ranking. You were fine. You know some brain things.
Well, if you want me to give you advice, I can try.
Well, I mean, like last time, they know we're coming. We made it pretty far, actually, surprisingly. The problem is they're just so freaking strong.
And there's so
Together,
many
they're
of them.
strong, but perhaps we can separate them.
Okay. I mean, you know, Oligar and Snaky Lady were mad at each other. That's what the goss was when you were leaving.
Well, I know Oligar's tough. Like I get that. I dealt with the man for years. I don't know who Snaky Lady is.
She's not
Mm.
dead.
You'd have to ask Spoot. I'm pretty sure that she's an evil sorceress type of thing that used to be dead, but then Spoot gave her a bone and now she's back to her full power.
Okay.
She's like a snake
Is
and
she
a lady.
like a Yuan Ti snake person?
Kinda.
Yes, snake person, but she's big.
And magical.
So she's a giant Yuan Ti? Weird.
Sure. I mean, that's kind of what it's like.
Okay.
And then there's Shurga, Pegon. They're really just brutes. We could probably get them, but they're just hit a lot. And really, we need to stop getting counterspelled.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I want to make everybody able to see. Have that just on tap.
That's a good idea. Especially if that's what caused you trouble last time. Well,
I mean, yeah.
Well, there is something to be said about dividing your enemies. Of course, that means that you are also divided.
Yeah,
Right.
and there's not a chance that y'all are coming this time, like, on the get-go, is there?
Well, I mean, it's possible.
We kind of could use all the friends we could get.
Well, I mean, if we go, then we could make multiple teams. That would be a little less troublesome for you. I would say that you five should remain together at least, and you know what your main purpose is, so maybe you deal with that. And then the rest of us who opt to go can deal with others, I guess. This Pegon and Shurga, they are spellcasters, fighters.
They're just fighters, but they're
One
they're
has
good fighters.
reach. One
So
can...
polar.
Yeah, that. It was a long stick with a pointy thing on it. One of them. And
And it
the other
hurt a
one
lot.
had an axe. Or something like that.
Pointy thing hurt a lot.
Well, they generally do. Okay. Well, if they don't have reach, certainly Adis and I can shoot them from very far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss having that
We-
human. I mean, no, I don't.
Really, we don't really do
I won't tell him you
distance
said
fighting
that.
anymore. We throw magic at things and we hit things that are close up. We don't really have ranged fighting anymore. And I
Yeah.
think that is a hole in our defenses.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't know how they've got their layout now, but if we split them up, I guess, then we could take care of some of them.
But how do
There's
we
also
split
some
them up?
like mystery bigger badder guys that are maybe somewhere.
Okay.
I mean, not to mention whatever magical entity is being summoned if it decides to show its face while we're in the midst of trying to keep it from entering this plane of existence.
Are they... So they're summoning something.
Yeah, the Even Shade.
Oh, I thought that was who Oligar was working with.
I thought those were the big bad people that were somewhere else.
Oh, I thought he was summoning, like, the same thing that they summoned. I thought the Shade was a thing.
I think it's a bunch of people.
Spoot has told you all that the Ibn Shade is the collective consciousness of Ibn who were killed in the original accident that resulted in the breaking.
Okay. I thought that's what they were trying to reach.
I think those are just sitting around.
Yeah, Spoot's sorry.
Weird.
Spoot's research, and he has shared this with you all a few times, has concluded that the Ibn Shade has been able to pull itself together, essentially, and taken some sort of form and is, like, out in the world.
Okay.
So, and you also know that Oligar has made an alliance with this entity, and
Right.
the Ibn Shade is, like, Oligar is a big, strong guy, but he's not. He has shown no indication that he is, like, magically intelligent. Like, he had
Right.
Bodo, who was a wizard.
Right.
Like, and now he's got Shuzaxa, who's some kind of magic user.
Mm-hmm,
Right.
mm-hmm.
And a pile of invisible people who counterspell.
He's got at least 2 mages.
like-
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever it is that the ritual is doing, I feel like it could be a bad that's coming to get us, or it could be giving a body to the Ibn Shade or something. So, whatever it is, we should probably be aware that even if it's part way, it might be a presence and have an impact on what we're doing.
We don't really know anything about what their weaknesses are. Like, we don't know anything about what they do. We've not encountered them yet. We don't know what they can and can't do and how we beat them up.
Right.
Well,
Speaking of which, you all plan more. I'm gonna call Fluxus. Maybe he's awake
Oh,
now.
yeah.
maybe you should check with Seda. You're friends with him.
I don't have a way to reach Seda.
Well, Seda's
He's down
got...
the street, isn't he?
Yeah, Seda's at the temple, I assume.
Oh, right, we're at home. Normally we have to do ascending or just like pop a hole in time and space and say, hey, stick our head through for a second.
Well, you're home, so...
Go talk to Seda. I gotta call Fluxus.
Okay,
All right, call Fluxus.
so Greg, you call Fluxus. What do you do?
Well, I have the sending stone that I gave to him, and I've tried calling a couple times with no answer, and so I'm just gonna hope that maybe now, it was at random intervals. It's a sending stone, so hi Fluxus, I hope you're not dead. We almost were. Hopefully you will come and help us stop the Ibn at Kraghold. Come to Fey Harbor, bye.
Okay. A moment goes by. Another moment goes by. And there's no response.
Crap. God, I think Fluxus is dead.
I mean, we could go there. We don't want to go there.
I don't think we have time to go there.
We don't have time to go there. Because we've already used the latch blade once today. We can't use it until we sleep. And then we
And
have
I
lots
don't
of things
think-
to do.
Let me check my teleportation circle list. Oh, we could go to Merilot's, but that's about it. Go bother Merilot. He's my favorite.
He doesn't like us.
Nope, but I like him.
It's hard to know if Merilot
Yeah.
likes anybody.
No, he's all business. I love it. Okay. Well, it seems like Fluxus is dead end. He might be dead.
Maybe they've got him captured.
Or something. I mean, definitely somewhere where he can't... I told him to have the Sending Stone with him, but whatever. Maybe he put it down, and he's just not next to his Sending Stone, and that's it. But I think he's dead. Alright, I guess we're gonna go see Seda.
I will
Before
remind everyone, just like, because some of you have access to this ability, you can scry on a location, not just an individual.
Sure. I think Spoot's the only one who can scry, though.
Yeah.
He's unconscious.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You also know that being in Fey Harbor, there are magical services that you can purchase.
sure.
Fair enough. Fluxus was trying to make us something. No, we already got that.
We got
That's
the
Paul.
something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he crafted Pulse for you all.
Right. Yeah, right.
And then you threw the gauntlet of Valruga at him and said, see if you can fix this, or see if you can make something out
Oh,
outside of
that's
this.
right. I want
Yeah.
that.
The
I knew he
gauntlet
had
might have eaten
something.
him.
The gauntlet might have eaten him. I mean, okay, let's go find Seda. Maybe Seda can scry, because that's a thing that seems like a thing that he would know how to do. Yeah. I mean, y'all aren't wrong about needing a plan. I just am not full of ideas for a plan.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do other than go back with more people and stuff and try harder. So let's go talk to Seda.
Well, you should definitely go talk to Seda. But some of us are a little more sneaky than others. And, we can split up the groups that way. Adis is very capable at moving quietly. I'm okay at it. It seems Trip here and your Umbradius friend is also adept in that capacity.
Yeah, we're not very sneaky.
You're not.
No. I mean, I can, but generally, no.
Well, Greg notwithstanding, most of the rest of you stand out and make a lot of noise, just in general.
This is accurate.
Spoot,
Yep.
God's bless him, is not nimble.
No.
Spoot is giant.
And clumsy.
Yeah.
I wasn't
He
going to say
walked
anything.
into the wall. He walked into the wall of Kraghold.
It's true. Granted, you could also see it after that, so that was good.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, what it comes down to is, yes, it might be nice to, like, pick off some of the low-level people quietly, but also the splitting up, being able to focus on
if we
what
go
we're
into
doing.
teams like you're suggesting, Team Sneaky can go around and take out little guys and take out support while you head on up to the big guy, whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is sound.
Would also cause a distraction.
Yes, but
We're
then
good
they're at
distracting.
risk.
Yeah, we're the distracting ones.
However you want to work it. You asked my advice, so.
Thank you.
You're not wrong. You all also need a way out.
Well, there's the tunnel.
No, like a quick one.
Well, I believe that Archimedalius person also has some teleporting capabilities.
That helps.
And if Paduk here can get us all there to that tree,
Oh, I can get us to the tree.
well, won't you need your magics to, I don't know,
Yes.
hurt people?
But if Paduk can do it, then yeah, we should save it. But
Yeah.
Paduk pipes up. I can do that once a day, and it doesn't cost me any of my magical reserves. It's a blessing from the Mistress of Glens.
Thanks,
Cool.
Mistress.
Right.
Then you should do that because
Happy
I can
to.
do it. I could also do it once a day, but it takes a lot of energy.
Oh yeah, it's a very powerful spell. Like I couldn't do it normally, but because the Mistress has chosen me, I can. I can also talk to plants a couple times.
That's
I can talk
fun.
to plants a bunch. I could actually do it twice a day at this point, but it still uses a lot of energy.
It does.
Fair.
Um,
Okay. So
so I can get us all there back to that tree, and
Yeah.
then we can split up, and then whatever teams we're on, as long as someone on the team has the exit strategy.
yeah. You all definitely need a way out. You need to cause a little ruckus, take out a couple people, then get out.
Well, we know Trip and
go
I
home.
can go invisible, so that's good.
Yeah.
And
That's helpful.
Umbradius is very stealthy, and I'm guessing Archimedalius can probably turn invisible, but I don't know. We'd have
Also,
to
this
ask.
is assuming that you're all coming. Are you sure you're all coming? I mean, last time we kind of died, and you did save us, but I mean, don't die.
What about the glass dude?
Well, if we're taking out the minions and like the lower level foot soldiers, we should be okay. We're pretty good at that. And that would leave you guys to deal with the big bad.
You have to promise to run away.
I got no problem with that. I definitely will run away. It's pipe to the
Okay.
Trip.
Good. What about you?
I have no
I go in
compunctions
turn.
about running away.
You have to run away. You have to run away.
Kalen kind of chuckles. Yeah, we'll run. We're not gonna. We'll be okay.
All right. Let's go talk to Seda. I don't think there's any point in dragging Spoot along, but we can tell Seda that Spoot's not feeling so good.
Should we take a handprint? Swoot says hi.
You want? So,
No.
Are the three of you heading to Seda, or just one or two of you?
Yeah. I'll tag along too.
Okay.
I guess we're all going. Yeah.
All right. The
Field
three of you head off to see Seda. Nereus doesn't go because he doesn't know who Seda is.
Right.
But the three of you head on off without issue, and you find yourself back at that familiar library with like the three-sided building, kind of like the Flatiron, only like much larger and not as tall.
Right. It's the Library of Ioun?
Well, no, it's the Library of Three.
Library of Three.
Yeah. Yeah. The knowing mistress, she is depicted often with a third eye in iconography.
Sure.
So 3 is a very significant number in that belief system.
Great. So the three of us are going
To the Library of Three.
How
The Library
portentous.
Three.
So you arrive and you're shown into Seda's office. Oh, and you see looks more or less the same. Older human gentleman, long kind of like grayish whitish dreadlocks, kind of tied back with a thong, and bespectacled, very dark skin. Oh, my friends, it's been quite some time. I trust you are all well. It's nice to see you back in Fay Harbor. It's been weeks since you were here.
Yeah. We felt better, but we're still here.
You look a little rough around the edges.
It's been a couple days. It's been a rough couple days.
Well, I'll have some tea brought in, and you can tell me all about it.
Great. I love tea.
Yeah. So
He is good.
one of his acolytes brings in a tea service, and he pours anyone who's interested in tea, then settles in. Now, why don't you tell me what I can do for you today and how I can help you? You've been great friends to the Library of Three, and Spoot is is Spoot well? He's not with you.
He's not doing so good, but
Is
the
he?
I mean,
we had a,
he might not be not good.
yeah, the healer says he's okay, but he's on some kind of spiritual spirit walk thing.
Ah, a divine quest.
Perhaps. We don't know. He didn't actually tell us. We're guessing.
Sometimes the gods pull their strings in mysterious ways.
So I hear. That's what the healer tells us.
Well,
But sure.
fair enough.
So yeah, he's safe. He's not dead.
Well, that's good to know.
But he's not. He's also not conscious and not talking to us, so we're not real sure why or what's going on. But we're assured that he's physically fine. So yeah, he's taking a nice little prayer nap.
Prayer nap.
Well, that is good to know, of course. Now, as for your visit here today, please tell me how I can help. What can I do? I know you've been off on some grand quest concerning the lunar alignments of the moon.
Yeah, we're still on that quest.
Yep. And
we met some really big bad people, and they hurt us a lot, so we ran away, and we think we have to go back and kill them some more.
yes, and
okay.
one of them is actually not just a half giant, but an
Oni.
Thank you.
What do you know about Onis?
What do you know about Onis? I think that's the kind of thing Spoot would ask, right?
Yes. Yes, you would.
Let's see. Seda has advantage on this check.
Good.
And he adds some more to it. Okay, great. Onis are giantkin. They are mystical in nature. They're not true giants. There's some magical, fiendish messing with their heritage in some capacity. Often they
He's
are.
He's not a nice man.
Well, often Oni are cruel. They do have the capability to disguise themselves. And obviously, whoever this is was apparently thusly concerned. These Oni, they can be very strong, physically powerful as well. They have some internal magics, but not much in the terms of offensive, unless they study a lot and become a wizard or something, I suppose. Who is this Oni that you have come across?
Well, he used to be your neighbor.
Oligar Greyclaw is an Oni?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. That's certainly a revelation.
Yeah, it's
right?
Unfortunate.
What do you know about weaknesses? What do Oni not like?
Well, Oni are fairly like you or I. They're just bigger and tougher. Their magics can make them a little more difficult. They don't have any necessarily supreme weaknesses, but they are their inherent magic makes them a little tougher. They're hearty folk. They are thick-skinned and boned. not quite to the degree of some other giants, but they are mortal as anyone.
Assuming you can whack them.
Yeah,
All
what's
right,
their weakness?
That's vaguely reassuring.
Well, as I said,
Sounds like they don't have one.
They don't have one beyond the normal. You can stab them, you can chop them, you can magic them. They get injured as easily as anyone else if you can land a blow.
Right. What about the Ibn Shade? Do you know anything about the Ibn Shade? We think he's working for the Ibn Shade.
The Ibn Shade. Well, I of course know all about the Ibn. They're a particularly interesting subject. Over the past few decades, I have made it a bit of my own sort of personal study to learn more about them, as clues that I have located seem to lead to them having had a hand in whatever caused the breaking originally. Before the breaking, they were a world-spanning organization of magic users. They had influence in every major civilization, strongholds in various locations where they conducted research and shared knowledge and information. They were supposedly politically neutral, but there are a lot of instances and accounts that we've uncovered that show maybe that's not so accurate. Powerful arcanists certainly were more than passingly interested in the shards.
Right.
So they often requested time to study those.
Yeah, everyone wants a shard.
The shards were very powerful artifacts. They were sort of they're interesting because they are at once a proof of divinity, but also a proof of arcanum. And since they were destroyed, fragments of the shards have popped up in the last few hundred years. You seem like you have a few on you these days. I've noticed such things.
True.
Yeah.
True story.
Well, I don't know necessarily of an entity called the Ibn Shade, but shades are typically undead creatures.
Yeah, we think they're like the ghosts of the Ibn.
Well,
they might not be dead.
Well, ghosts and shades are similar but different. Shades, or sometimes known as shadows, are entities of pure darkness. They can weaken an individual and very susceptible to light and holy energies. Whereas ghosts are more of a mortal soul that is trapped between life and death, and often has some curse or some business to finish before they depart. And sometimes just anger can keep a spirit on this plane when it should not remain. And they can cause all sorts of damage and have the ability to possess others. I don't know if this Ibn Shade is similar in that regard or not.
So they could be possessing. Oh my god! What if they're possessing Algar?
Well, Algar. I mean, it's possible, but Algar has always been very. As long as I knew him, when he was masquerading as a baron, was very confident and sure of himself. People who tend to have a very strong will tend to be difficult to inhabit in such a way.
Right, but what if he wants to be possessed by them because they're big and powerful?
Well, generally when one is possessed, one gives up one's own impetus, so...
Okay, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Huh? Mm. This isn't feeling very helpful.
No.
Well, I'm happy to tell you more about the Ibn.
Yeah, do you have any guess what, like, this ritual might be for?
What
I mean,
ritual?
that's the main... Well, this
moon
ritual
thing.
about the moon that we're trying to stop, I'm concerned that whatever it is that they're trying to have happen at the end of this ritual will result in, something else to fight.
Well, I have spoken with the priests of the Dreamweaver. They're much more moon-orientated than our order. And it seems as though tomorrow evening is the first time in 1,000 years that the two moons will align in such a way as to appear as though they are one moon. Which is exciting to them in a way of faith.
I was
Moons
saying,
are
but
cool.
in like a religious portent kind of way, or in like a bad things are going to happen kind of way?
No, in a celebration of the two facets of the Dreamweaver coming together once again for the first time in 1,000 years. The Dreamweaver is a multifaceted deity. Her followers believe that she is at once both secretive and mysterious, but also a shining beacon. So there's some duality to her nature, and the two moons now reflect that.
What happened 1,000 years ago?
Well, the details are scant, of course, but essentially something occurred. There are hints in various documents that we've recovered that the Ibn were in some capacity involved with a few experiments. There were multiple requests for a temporary loaning of a shard in one of the old empires that was denied. But essentially what happened was there are reports of energies being released across the former continent of Lorjan, which was mostly what Johanna is now composed of. But it was different. The areas were different. The structure was different. Except for the Verdentious Causeway. That seems to have remained more or less intact somehow. But these energies released and radiated outwards in massive storms of multicolored lightning that caused mass destruction and upheaval, both societal and geographical. Hundreds of thousands perished. Those who could escaped into more secure locations as much as they could, but it was hard to know when a cave would suddenly not be a cave anymore.
Sure. I could see that would be inconvenient.
Yes, so these spell storms ravaged for about 1,000 years. The moon was once a single entity or a single object in our sky. There are reports of a large bright beam flying out from the surface towards the sky, towards the moon, and striking the moon and then sundering it into the twain that it now, the two pieces that it now resides in.
That originated from on Nuuli?
Yes. My standing theory is that either someone directed these energies outward from Nuuli in order to save some location. Perhaps a group of mages redirected a bit of energy, or there was just so much exploding in all directions that a large chunk went heavenwards and the moon just happened to be there. Those are my two prevailing theories at the moment, but I don't really have a proof in either direction. I wasn't there.
Fair. You'd be very old if you were.
I'm still very old, but still not there. Well,
cool.
Let's see. And he kind of strokes his beard, his little Van Dyke that he's got. Empires fell, new ones rose, and they fell. Eventually, people built just small and isolated strongholds, and over the last 50 years or so, the spell storms really died down quite significantly, and people have been able to start rebuilding, and it's been about 10 years, I believe, since the last reported spell storm. So.
Oh, that's it?
Yes.
Does Olive remember spell storms? She's
No.
older than that.
Yes.
Okay.
The last 50 years, they died down quite significantly. Sort of in a exponential decline, as it were.
Sure.
For the first...
I don't remember any of that.
Well, for the first few hundred years, they were more or less constant and roving around randomly at will. Not that there's necessarily a will behind them, but you take my meaning. And then the last few hundred years, it began to decrease, and the last 50 years significantly reduced. There was no longer a standing spell storm over the Glimmering Void. It sort of dispersed, and the last one that I'm aware of was reported 10 years ago off the shores of Triangle Bay.
Hmm. Do you know anything about a kingdom of orcs that would have been up in the north way back when?
Well, I'm not sure if they were in the north of Lord John, but there was a society of orcs that we've recovered, orcish individuals. They refer to themselves as the Circle.
Yes. I think they were up near the glacier. 2 days travel, they told me.
Oh, our reports have them more in the central area of Lord John in mountain range. But it's possible there was an outreaching, or it's possible
maybe they were both.
Yes, it's possible they were in more than one location. It's also possible that during the breaking, their mountains were moved.
Sure.
That happened quite a lot during the breaking. Full geographical upheaval and entire locations relocated, which is why this continent, as we know it, is no longer called Lorjan. It is Johanna. It is a different continent. The arid waste to the south did not used to be there, for example.
Sure. All right. Anyone else have anything else to ask the library?
No.
I want to talk to Paduk, but he's at home. So, is there anything else we want to talk to these people about before we go home and talk to people there?
Can you scry? Or do you have anybody here who knows how to scry?
Oh, yeah.
I do have a means of scrying, yes.
Okay. Well, there's this mage named Fluxus,
Oh yeah, he's not taking our phone calls.
and he might be dead.
Oh,
But I don't know. So I'm wondering if we can take a look at where his tower is. This is me trying to think of how best to describe where the tower is.
Did
Sure.
your sending stone come from his tower?
No, I made it.
You made it. Oh, you made it and gave it to him, not the other way around.
Yeah.
But
Pulse came from
Pulse
there.
comes from his tower.
Yeah.
well, if you have an item from his tower, that I can use that as a means to channel the energies.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't originally from there, but that's definitely where it was last.
But this individual owned this
He
item?
used it. He made it. Or he
Made
changed it.
Oh, if he made it, then it would absolutely work.
Okay. Yeah. Can we scry on Fluxus?
I can certainly do my best.
That would be really great.
Do you wish to target the individual or his home?
Uh,
The difference being, if we attempt to target the individual and he is, as you fear, dead, the spell will have nothing to latch on to. Whereas if
Right.
we target his home,
Right.
unless it has been utterly destroyed, there will be something to
Right.
see.
let's see.
But he might not be there.
That is a possibility.
Let's start with the tower and see if there's signs of drama.
Very well. You retrieve the item, and I will make ready for this process.
Thank you.
Of course.
We left Pulse on Spoot, didn't we?
Yeah, but it's easy enough to go back and get it and come back.
Sorry, Spoot.
So you take care of that, come back. You see that Seda brings you to a chamber in the library that has candles in it and a bunch of mirrors, and in the middle there is a perfectly clear crystal ball set upon a mirror that is in a limpid pool of water, or presumably water. So it's like there's a lot of reflections going on in this room, and candles kind of
Shiny.
interspersed throughout. He lights some incense. This is a costly ritual for myself. So a donation to the temple would be appreciated once we're done here. But I feel this information is useful to you all, so let's get it for you, shall we?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So he takes pulse, and for about 10 minutes begins reciting in a language that none of you really understand. And 10 minutes of chanting, and then you see his eyes go from that like crazy crystal blue irises to kind of clouded over and milky white. And he holds onto pulse and looks into the crystal ball and begins narrating what he sees. And as he narrates, you see that images begin to flicker onto the mirrors, so you can see what he is seeing as he describes them.
Ooh. Cool.
I see a strange house, a tower on a butte of some kind. Moving in, we see a workshop, disheveled, damaged, and what you are seeing is indeed what looks to be a workshop, a table that is charred and half broken, like a heavy table of some kind of heavy wood that is just charred and has like deep gouges in it. Tools that are kind of thrown all over the place. And he keeps narrating as the visions in the mirrors change and flicker as it's almost as if he's like turning around in the room. There's debris everywhere, and there is something over here, something amidst the rubble. And what you see in the rubble is you see a gray-skinned form that is severely desiccated and in a process of decay.
That's probably a bad sign.
Clad in red and blue robes, with a big section of the front of the robes torn off or burned off. It seems as though this may have been your friend, the wizard Fluxus, possibly.
Do you have time to look around for a gauntlet?
Yes, of course. And as he begins sprinting, you see one of those constructs that Fluxus had has been blown apart, and is like in pieces on one side of the room. And lying next to one of those pieces, you see a black gauntlet with a indigo purple shard embedded in it. A very familiar gauntlet. It is indeed the gauntlet you took from Valruga. It appears to be in the center of, for lack of a better term, a crater. It's not quite a full, blown out crater, but there's a depression under it.
Did we kill Fluxus, guys?
And you happen to see a brick fall, and the image kind of spins a little bit in place, and a form looks at the sensor, like it's like looking at whatever is you're seeing through. It appears to be a waifish individual, very small, but with really long arms, and the arms are very, very furry. Grig, you immediately recognize a very young hobgoblin. Or actually, sorry, not a hobgoblin, but a bugbear. A very young bugbear, picking through rubble, and kind of eyes go wide and stare at whatever you are, and then its eyes turn and it sees the gauntlet, and you watch as the image follows this entity as they rush to the gauntlet, pick it up, and look at it, and then look kind of confused at you, the gauntlet, you, and they wrap their big, long, extra long arms around it and scamper off out of the view, out through a ruined doorway. And the vision fades, and Seda, well,
That's probably a bad sign.
I'm sorry. It seems as though your friend has perished in some sort of accident.
Why is there a bugbear
It's
Who's now running
possible.
off with that?
It's possible it's just a scavenger. The Glimmering Void is a difficult place to live in, and if your friend Fluxus lived there and his defenses are gone, sometimes when a wizard dies, the defenses remain for quite a while, and sometimes they don't. It's all dependent in a lot of factors.
Yeah.
But,
I don't feel great about that bugbear having that.
Greg, you would have recognized, and probably you're the only one who would have, that it was not an adult bugbear. It was like a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't love a kid having that. Let me rephrase.
That explains why he's not entering his sending stone.
It's true. Maybe we should. Can we go to there? Maybe our blood vial isn't destroyed, or maybe it is. Didn't you have a weird moment at one point?
You did not feel any disconnection of the vial. You also don't know exactly where Fluxus kept it, because you never actually went to his place. You just opened. You just opened the. Actually, no. You did open the door once when you got Pulse.
Had to get Pulse. Yeah.
You did open the door to get Pulse, and your armor. It was all one big thing, I think. So you got those two things, and that appeared to be in his study, not in his workroom.
Okay.
So yeah, we could go there tomorrow, but we got kind of a lot on our plate tomorrow.
I mean, if Fluxus blew himself up, that kid's gonna blow something up.
Greg, make a intelligence check.
Wow, why can't I read? There it is.
Words are hard.
15.
Cool. So you remember asking Fluxus to try to see if he could change or remove the fragment within the gauntlet.
Yeah.
It would appear the answer is no.
You also know from your experience with these things, like when Spoot first touched the shard in Bediv's tongue, that they are incredibly powerful things, and once they are part of something, they do not like being removed from it.
Sure.
Which probably plants a seed in your mind that Fluxus didn't know that, and so attempted to alter it, remove it, change its nature somehow, some capacity. Because he had done some, he had done some enchantment work, and like that was his bag. He made a lot of magical items and stuff.
Yeah.
But Pulse was the first one that he actually made from a shard that was or from a fragment of a shard that was not attached to anything. And he had only really studied other artifacts that had come across his way before. So
and he had a ring.
Yes, he did. At one point, he owned a ring called Variety, which had a fragment in it which he had studied extensively and knew.
But didn't try to take apart.
No, he focused more on what it could do and learned how it did it. He never had a desire to take it apart, but because you all asked, you think he attempted to do that with the gauntlet.
Guys, we maybe killed Fluxus.
I mean, wizards die all the time doing stuff. I didn't say take it apart necessarily. I said figure it out.
Sure.
Also, that kid having something of that much power. I mean, fine. Yeah, we got other things to deal with. We'll find that bugbear someday.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and the image fades from all the mirrors and everything. Sada's eyes return to normal. Well, again, sorry for your friend. I do hope this has helped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, now we know.
True story. All right, so anyone have anything else for here, or should we go home?
At this time, go home.
Yeah, I think it's time to go home.
As I said,
Cool.
a small, significant
Yeah, here.
donation.
Have 10 gold.
Make an insight check. All of you can make an insight check on this.
He's being very vague, so I don't feel bad.
All of you clock it easily. You get the sense that he was about to say something, and Greg gave 10 gold, and it's not. You get the sense that it's not nearly enough. You have the ability to cast this spell, you know that
I
it's in
do.
your spell list, so you know it's a very high level spell, and
Totally.
it's quite costly to do. So you figure you're nowhere in the ballpark that he was going to quote a price, but he also considers you friends and is now in this situation of I need to get more cash out of you, but
Hey, Greg, we should maybe give him a bigger thing than that.
Okay, he said small.
I think he was
How
being
much?
polite.
Oh, that's dumb. How much does it cost to do the spell?
Normally we charge 210 gold pieces for this particular spell. However,
Oh, here. If that's how much it costs, then that's how much it costs. Here.
thank you very much. All of you clock that he seems
And,
immediately relieved that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, they're not very they don't pick up on subtle cues.
No.
Understandable.
It's cool.
It is. It's fine. Thank you for your contribution to the Knowing Mistresses libraries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, I'm always happy to help you all as much as I can. Well, now, I do wish you best of luck in whatever endeavors you are. Presumably, it sounds like you're going against Oligar soon again?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. If you don't hear from us, we're definitely dead.
Well,
Yeah. Probably.
You don't need to scry.
No, but, I have something that perhaps might be of aid to you.
We'll take all the help we can get.
I mean, yes.
Yes. Well, here. Come with me to my office. And he brings you to his office and hands over 2 scrolls to you all.
What do these do?
They are ways. They are a spell called Grado Restoration. It allows you to undo some sort of debilitating effect upon
Nice.
a creature. You all seem
Cool.
quite tired, so this could aid in alleviating that, or removing some sort of mental confusion. There's a few other things, but
Cool.
they're useful. I was saving these for something important, and it sounds like maybe this might be that. So, as a gift between friends.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Of course. Of course. And so you can add 2 scrolls of greater restoration to your
Nice.
inventory. which, Greg, you take a look at it, and you can read it, no problem. Olive, you take
Great.
a look at it, you can read it, no problem.
Okay, I was just gonna say, can I use scrolls, or is that a wizard thing?
Everybody can use scrolls.
Any caster can use a scroll if
Okay.
the spell is part of their class.
Yes, and that is part of my class.
Yeah.
I know that's a spell I could have.
Yeah. If the spell is of a higher spell slot level than you can cast, you have to roll for it. But if you are able to cast spells of that level, it's not a problem.
Great.
Can I
it's
cast
in my spells.
of that level?
It's a 5th level.
It's a 5th level spell.
I don't have any 5th level slots, so you and Spook get them.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can add them to
If Spook
the
wakes
party
up.
track or inventory, however you want. Seda bids you all adieu, and you can return to Misfit Manor.
Cool.
Cool beans.
Hey, Padook.
Yes.
So, we were just talking. 1,000 years ago was the last time the moons aligned.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, all kinds of big bad things happened when the moons aligned.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're related, whether or not one caused the other. But apparently everything changed except the Verdentious Causeway.
Yep, that's right.
And there was a big beam of energy that went and split up the moon. Did it come from the Verdentious Causeway?
No.
Did somebody do that on purpose?
I know it didn't come from the causeway. I can't say if somebody did it on purpose or not.
So why was the Verdentious Causeway not changed? Do you know? You're from there.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it sounds like a big deal. Please tell us about it.
Yes. One moment, please.
It sounds important. Like, did people do that on purpose? Like, is it a thing they did that protected it?
Yes. So, when the breaking began, the elvish leader, the king of the causeway, King Philinesen, Ethal. So Philinesen Ethal. Okay. He declared a war of survival and gathered all of the highest mages together from each school of magic from the Istamamen, which is the big magic academy of the Verdentious Causeway.
Okay.
He included the highest archdruids of each of the 7 cities and the highest clerics of the Leaf Heart that were on Nuuli, and enacted a plan. King Ethal King Philinesen was extremely innovative as a king and very wise. He was, I think, around 800 or 900 years old at the time, so he had been around for a while. He knew that the powers that were quickly rampaging towards the Verdentious Causeway were primal in nature. They were not guided necessarily. And so he needed to block that from his lands. So he laid out this plan, but it needed the agreement of all of the 12 assembled magic users. And they all agreed, and through this ritual and sacrifice, they set a ward, a defense for all the people within the Verdentious Causeway. But it was very powerful, but very limited to the causeway itself. So it couldn't protect everything.
Sure.
Which is why only the elves who were in the causeway survived, and other elves, or at least elvish societies, did not.
So, like, is the ward still there, or did, like, it get used up?
Oh no, it's still active. So he used the familiarity of the arcane masters to identify and know the storms, and the faith of the clerics provided protection and inspiration, and the connection of the druids to their various elements grounded the attempt of the ritual. All of the magics were used in tandem and funneled into the king, because the king was of the lands, of the people, and of the divine. So the druids, the magicians, or the mages, and the clerics. And it all worked. The Verdentious Causeway has been protected from the ravagings of spellstorms ever since, and all it cost was the immense power involved in that ritual and 13 lives of willing heroes. Which is why in the Causeway, the king and his 12 are revered across all the lands and throughout the Causeway. Every Elvish child is taught this so that none forget the cost of their safety and security.
Cool.
Now you talk about this. It sounds vaguely familiar.
Wow, you were in the Causeway for a while. It's possible you heard this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to protect the whole planet from whatever this whole ritual thing is. I can't cast runes that powerful. Or wards, I mean.
You could, I imagine. I mean, if from what you say, the Ibn were the ones doing it, like they were the most powerful mages of their time. And they were like all grouped together, so it wasn't like one person was doing it.
Sure.
Did you just call me one of the most powerful mages of my time? Is that what just happened? Did you just low-key do that?
No, I said that the Ibn were the most powerful mages of their time.
But you said that I could cast a ward that strong.
I said few entities could.
Oh, few entities could. All right. I was going to say
maybe you can. I don't know.
But...
I don't know your skill.
No, I don't think I can. That's why I was confused. Okay. Yeah. I feel like the closest thing we're going to get to a plan is splitting the parties up. We may need
many
some
friends
extra,
as you can.
bring as many friends as are willing to come. And Paduk, maybe you might need to stick with us if you could keep us up longer. If your mistress is giving you lots of healy bits.
I mean, I can do a fair few things. Yeah.
You might need to be our sneaky
ID person.
Healy uppy.
I mean, if I'm happy to go with you and aid you in whatever ways I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that might be a
if
good
you're willing
idea.
to, and then you'll have to you have to run away.
So am I going with you or am I running away?
No, come with us, and then if things go bad, run away.
Yeah.
Well, that's what these are for. He flutters his wings.
Good.
Yes.
Also, I can just do this. And he turns invisible and pops out of existence and then reappears over Defect's shoulder. See?
Yep. Do that.
Yeah. I got no problem staying invisible. Serves me well.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good talk.
Yeah.
All right. Should we go to bed now?
So it is late afternoon. It's still a little early for bed. And your butler Corin is due back soon. So
Oh, right, with our things.
Right.
So-
Yes.
Yeah, we should wait for our
So we
should wait
will
for-
we will find out how he did in his endeavors next time here on Nuuli Forged.
Sounds good.
Yay.
And as a general reminder, some of you ate the silver star apple.
Yes. That means we couldn't take a short rest until we got a long rest.
Correct. It also means that after your first long rest, there is a chance that you will be exhausted.
Yes.
So, you are due for some interesting dreams on your next long rest, and we'll find out all of that next time here on Nuuli Forged.
Cool, cool, cool.
Cool, cool, cool indeed. So with that, we will end our session there for the evening. Thank you, players. I hope you had some fun tonight. Yeah, it was a bit of a roleplay session. Seems like Defect's in a weird mental place for him.
Love it. Oh my god,
Yep.
I love it.
Exploration.
Totally great place to be.
Mushy stuff.
Grig
Yeah.
got a little holy there. Had a little
Yeah.
faith
Yeah.
call out.
You never thought it'd happen, but just you wait. Greg's gonna be a little mini cleric next.
You can always
Oh,
take a
scared
level.
Staff.
Yeah.
And you can always declare a faith. That doesn't mean you have to take levels in cleric.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But who knows? Thank you, I've Got It, for being here. Thank you for resubscribing. Thank you to NYC Zombie for subscribing. And I hope everybody had a good time. We will be back next week, and I believe next week we are scheduled to have the complete and full party. Sorry we didn't have Matt and Tanner tonight. Sometimes life gets in the way. But next week is going to be busy. There's a lot of stuff y'all got to do. You got to finalize your battle plans. So feel free to talk about that in the Discord. That is a tool you all have. There's the results of the Silver Star Apple dreams, whatever that may or not be. And there's what the fuck's going on with Spoot. And then there's the whole, hey, let's go save the world thing. So busy time.
Yeah.
But very cool. But we'll find out about that next week on the 28th of February. Oh, it's a leap year. How about that?
It is.
Well, wild. Let's go around and say our goodbyes, and I'll figure out who we gonna raid tonight. Let's start with our druid friend Olive.
Oh, hey, that's me. I am Sarah, and I have been Olive. And thanks so much for watching us. And you can catch up on what the fuck we've been doing before this end of the worldness on our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media and stuff. It's NUULIFORGED on all of the places that you might look to find us, and probably some you might not have thought of yet. Yeah, thanks. Okay, bye.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Moving on up, we got Greg.
Hello, I'm Greg, the most faithful servant of the Platinum Dragon ever. Obviously. Yeah, and I'm also Amber, and this is fun, and I hope that next week my brain works.
Mhm. Yeah, all those things.
Who knows?
All those things.
Which leaves me, Mike. Thanks for watching. Best friends, Griefect. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week.
I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Very cool. And I've been Jared, your humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged. We're going to raid Cap Corgi because they're playing some D&D over there. I've Got It. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being an audience. Thank you to everyone watching on YouTube, on the VOD, on the replays. Thanks for being here and spending time with us. We'll see you next week. It's a crazy time in the world still. So be kind, be empathetic, be safe, be smart, and live long and prosper. I went Star Trek in a D&D show. Ooh, crazy.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. But we'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Bye. Wave goodbye.